How's it going, viewers? Mr. Incredi-Brony is back and he's wrong with a bunch of his favourite. Welcome to another tier list video, and in this one I'm going to be ranking all of my all-time favourite book series, which is of course Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Now this is something you don't know about me, or some of you may know, but Diary of a Wimpy Kid is my all-time favourite book series when I was a kid, and it still is to this day. I've collected every single book in its like hardcover and paperback form, if there were those options, of course. Every one that came out. I got into the series when I was pretty young, because my sister had a few of them as a kid, and she read them to me as well, which was really sweet. And I honestly related to a bit of the misadventures that Greg Heffley had. It's a lot of fun, and I'm not going to make this video too long, because I just want to get this video done, in my opinion, because I just wanted to do this, really. And also, Facebook Gamer DJ, in a lot of his reaction videos, specifically his Season 2 reactions, you can actually notice his bed has a lot of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, so we have something in common. We both love Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He even mentioned one of the books, actually, when he does the Season 2, Episode 6 reaction to the cutie pox. He says, it's all about a chicken pox, and then he says, the third wheel involves that. So, claps for you, Facebook Gamer DJ. But if you're watching this, yeah, this is going to be my opinion on all the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. Which ones are really good, which ones are not so good, but still enjoyable, really. So, I have the tier list right here, so I'm going to show you as a little teaser what it's like, so you can see what they are. Again, I'm sorry about the lighting, but you know, it's the best I can deal with already. So yeah, it has all the current books, of course. It's every book, and including all the side books as well that aren't as important to the plot, but are still important to own, in my opinion, really. So that includes all Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, the Diary of an Awesome Friendly Adventures, where Rowley Jefferson, the best friend to Greg Heffley, gets his roles to shine. Unfortunately, it doesn't involve these two books, the Wimpy Kid movie diary, where it gives you the story of how Greg Heffley went Hollywood, including the next chapter where it explains the making of The Long Haul, which is not the best film. It's kind of awful, but the first three are actually a lot of fun to read every now and then. I actually enjoy reading these things, because looking behind the scenes is a lot of fun, and yeah, it's just so much fun, in my opinion. And I actually have a DVD of all four films right here. So yeah, I'm actually very proud of this collection. I just love these so much, really. Even though I don't love The Long Haul in the slightest, the film adaptation, I think the first few are a lot of fun. My favorite one is definitely the second film, but either way, let us get into this. So let's rank all of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books that we have so far to this day. Published by Puffin and of course written by the legendary Jeff Kinney. And I'm glad he's not stopped yet. He did say he might stop when he gets to book 20, but that's not that yet. We have a new book coming out this year in October called Diaper Overload, where Greg hits the road with Roderick, his big brother, about being the life of a rock star, which I'm already excited for. You know why? Because Roderick is my personal favorite character. He's so much fun. He's so funny. He's just so handsome as well. And I love when he says this. Somebody farted. Yeah, that's a microphone I own. Yeah, a lot of fun. Anyway, here are the categories we have at the bottom of this. Why did I read this? This is one that I would never read again. It's kind of garbage. I don't know why it exists. Then we have it has charm, but it's not great. Where it has moments that I enjoy, but it's just not a really fun story. Then we have fun story, but kind of wimpy. Play on the words there, where I enjoy the read, but you know, it just doesn't feel amazing. Then we have so readable and always will, but these are ones that I really enjoy and I like to read every now and then. Then we have very amazing and fun, that have some of the best stories ever, and they are just so amazing, and they have really good moments to remember. And then we have the greatest read of my life. Only one of them is going to go in there. Only one of the books is going to go at the top. But if you like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, what is your favorite of the book series? Who's your favorite character? As you know, mine is Roderick, and all your characters are fun too. You got Patty Farrell, Holly Hills, Shirag Gupta, Fregley is really funny as well. Yeah, all the characters are just really, that's just a lot of fun, really. They all have their own depth, really, and there's always a new character introduced in every single story. And you know what? Let's not get into depth right now. Let's just get into the video. So the first one I'm going to start off with, of course, the one that started it all, Diary of a Wimpy Kid itself, which introduced the famous meme known as the cheese touch, of course, and it really does introduce Greg Heffley very well, and it's a very timeless classic, in my opinion. I don't actually love this book as much as most people do. I think this one is a very readable one, and it always will be. It's just not amazing, in my opinion. I just don't think it has the best start up to a great series, but it is really fun to read. And yeah, it being the first one and a red novel, a lot of fun. So yeah, so readable and always will be. Now we have Roderick Rules. This is going to go in very amazing and fun off the bat. I definitely love this more than the first book. I think the fact that it's Roderick as well as the main character, always learning about hanging out with your brother and knowing that they're always there for you. I think it's a very well put message, even though Susan Hills is one of the worst mothers you can ever own, without a doubt. So, yeah. And Manny can be a bit of a troublemaker too, but, you know, all 3-year-olds are like that. I'm only 3. And Greg's father is pretty funny too. I think he's probably the funniest character. Like, the way he just complains and doesn't like when anyone touches his Civil War dudes. It's pretty fun. But yeah, Roderick Rules is a very amazing read and a lot of fun. And I think it has a really nice ending to it with the talent show thing. And the song, Loaded Diaper, is just pretty cool. So yeah, I like it. Very amazing and fun. Now we have The Last Straw. This is also going to go in very amazing and fun. This is actually, I prefer Roderick Rules, but I actually like this one. This is actually one of the first ones that I could relate to a little bit because Greg Heffley is struggling to hang out with his father a lot because they don't have a lot in common. And I think it's a nice bonding relationship they have. The funniest part, in my opinion, was when he went outside in the hotel room and was completely almost in the nude, but just his tidy whities. That was so funny. So yeah, that was really well done. Yeah, it's just a fun read overall, and it's just so much fun. And then we have Dog Days. This one is very readable, but not amazing in my opinion. I think the summer holiday thing, I think it kind of went a little too far with the Greg going to the country club, of course. I mean, it was a fun concept, but like, I don't think it was handled as well as it should have been. But you know, it's still a fun read overall. Now we have, this is going to go in amazing, definitely. Not as amazing as Roderick Rules or Last Straw, but we have The Ugly Truth, book 5 of the series, and the purple book. Dog Days is yellow, Last Straw is green, and Roderick Rules is blue. But the purple book, The Ugly Truth, is, this one can relate to a lot of boys who are starting to get to that age where they start to feel certain things, and you know, and Greg is still at middle school. Like, are we ever going to change schools at some point? Like, you know, come on. Remember, stay hydrated, kids. But overall, yeah, I think it's a really fun read, and I think some of the new characters introduced are actually a lot of fun, and I just like it overall. Now we have, oh boy, this is going to be a bit of a hot take. Cabin Fever, book 6, light blue, is actually my least favorite. I don't actually like this book. This is actually the worst one in my opinion. I don't know why I read this one. It just doesn't have potential in it at all. Like, I thought it did because it's supposed to be when Greg's doesn't get to go to school because it's all snowed in. But like, I don't like when it's like that. I just think whenever he doesn't feel that there's any school moment, it doesn't feel right. And Greg mentioned something about Rowley that we already kind of knew, that he acts like a kid sometimes, like skipping around and being frolicking and all that. I think we already knew that. So yeah, this one doesn't feel like a special book in my opinion. It's just boring. I don't like this one. Whenever I feel isolated, I just read this one just to torture myself. But I never want to read this one again, really. But yeah, why did I read this? I'm not a fan of this one. And now we have the one I mentioned earlier in Baseball Game DJ's video of the Cutie Pox, The Third Wheel. This one is definitely a good story, but I think it's kind of wimpy. Like, I'm not into romance. Like, romance is like my least favorite genre ever. So having a book story dedicated to that is just kind of boring. The Valentine's Day thing is coming. Greg has to ask for a partner. And then Rowley ends up with someone, of course, which is sad for Greg. And then Greg, there is a running gag of Greg wanting to live in living in the bathtub and putting on all the candles just so he feels like he's in his mother's womb again. That's interesting. I tried it once and it didn't work. So yeah. But yeah, The Third Wheel has some nice moments in it, and it has a funny dance near the end. But you know, it's just kind of wimpy. Like, romance is not my thing, so that's why it's kind of wimpy. And then we have definitely an improvement, Hard Luck. Hard Luck is gonna go in very readable. I actually like it more than Dog Days, but not as much as the original book. Hard Luck is pretty dang good. One of my favorite moments in it is definitely when Greg introduces when his school group who eats at lunchtime always make this new rule called 5-second rule. When you drop your food, you have to pick it up really quickly and then you can eat it. I use that rule every now and then. When you drop your food, kids, quickly pick it up before 5 seconds. If it's more than 5 seconds, you can't eat it. It's been contaminated and everything. But when you drop something, quickly pick it up within 5 seconds. But if someone else picks it up in 5 seconds, they get to eat it. It's a fun rule, and I like that rule. It's really fun. So whenever someone drops something, I have to quickly get it before it's been 5 seconds. So yeah, 5-second rule, viewers, remember that. But yeah, Hard Luck has to deal with Greg trying to get a new friend because Rowley will not hang out with him anymore because he's got his girlfriend and all that. But yeah, it's still a very readable book, and I like it. And now we have The Long Haul. This one is going to go in fun story, but kind of wimpy. I don't mind this book. It's enjoyable, but I don't actually love this book. Like, the road trip thing, I know it can be relatable to some, but I feel like they kind of exaggerated this a little too much. Like, with the Beardo family and all that, and shoving all the stuff into their back truck. I don't know how it's even possible. Like, in the film, they use a boat, which is actually more smart, in my opinion, even though I'm pretty sure they use a boat in the book as well. But so, yeah, that doesn't count. But, yeah. The Long Haul is enjoyable at times, but, you know, it's just kind of wimpy. It doesn't really fall or hard on me. Okay, now we have book 10, The Black Book, my all-time favorite read ever. This is the greatest read of my life at the top right here. Old School. Old School is the most relatable one. This is the one I relate to the most because there is a point where Greg Heffley's mom, Susan, actually like cuts off the power and actually goes electronics free and makes the whole neighborhood go in on that. And so Greg has to learn to be more social, read more books and all that. That was something I struggled as a kid. I don't actually play video games a lot anymore. I actually read more books now than play video games. So thanks to this book, I relate to that so much and I really like that. And the side story with Greg trying to take care of his grandfather, which we meet, of course, and at the old folks' home from the previous book mentioned. And I think Greg Heffley's grandfather is a lot of fun. I actually like him as a character. I think he was funny in Roderick Rules, but I love him just as much in Old School. Like him trying to learn how to use a car and trying to fix the problem. It's really funny. He's just a funny character. Detta is great. And I also love the main plot where Greg goes on a school trip to Hardscrabble Farms, and we also learn about the story of Silas Scratch. Like, ugh. And a lot of the new kids are a lot of fun too, like Jeremy, the big boy that they're trying to catch, and then Rowley hits someone's face, and then the guy's tooth gets in his forehead. It's really, really funny and crazy. So yeah, it's just the most fun in my opinion. Old School is really, really cool, and I can relate in some, like I said, I can really relate to the electronics free part, and going on a school trip at a place I've never been before and trying to hang out with all my friends. It's kind of cramped, so yeah, I can relate to this one a lot. Old School, best of the series in my opinion. What's your favorite of the series? Mine is Old School, greatest read of my life ever. Now we have Double Down. Yeah, Double Down is definitely gonna go in the not great category. It's pretty bad. It's not terrible like Cabin Fever, but it just doesn't feel like there's a plot to it at all. There's like plots everywhere. There's a point where Greg and Riley make a film, but like there are funny, like again, there are fun moments in it, but it's just not great. I don't like it that much. It's okay. I would read it again, but just not as much. So yeah, Double Down, Book 11 is going to go in that category. It has charm, but it's not great. Now we have The Getaway, Book 12. This is when I start feeling that, I don't know. I feel like Jeff Kinney's trying to redo some of his best books, but with more, it's like going for quantity over quality. So this one is also going to go in a not great story. And the airplane trip is funny at times, and Greg using the charger in near the women's bathroom is funny because that's the only place he can find it. And the plane trip was funny with him trying to take care of the baby. It's pretty hilarious at times, but like it's just boring. And the part where the spider is in a room, that's the best part in my opinion. But everything else is just. And then Greg mentions at some point that if they grow older, they're gonna have to ask mom to help. And like he even mentioned something about Susan having to cut Roderick's toenails, which makes no sense because in the very first page of Hard Luck, he's cutting it himself. So there's a bit of a plot twist right there. That doesn't make sense. Greg's brother can already cut his own toenails. So Roderick, you don't need your mum's help. See, I notice things. And YouTube helps, but I notice these things. So yeah, The Getaway, it's fine, but you know, I do prefer it. Do I prefer it to Double Down? Yeah, because it has a story. I prefer The Getaway to Double Down because The Getaway actually has a story. Double Down's just all over the place. Now we have The Meltdown. The Meltdown is a really fun story. I actually find it pretty good. It's not as readable as Dog Days, Hard Luck, or the first book, but I do like it more than The Long Haul and The Third Wheel. I think The Meltdown is a lot of fun. The snowball fight sequence is really cool. The war thing is just amazing. I love it more than Cabin Fever by far. It's a really fun book overall, really. And now we have Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid. This one is a very readable book. I'm putting this in so readable because I love how Rowley got his own book. I do prefer the first book, Hard Luck and Dog Days personally, but Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid is pretty cool. I like it a lot. It's fun. And then we have Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball is, it's all right. I'm going to put this one in fun story, but kind of wimpy. This one is definitely, I do like this one more than the third wheel, but it's definitely not as good as enjoyable as the Meltdown or the Long Haul. I think Wrecking Ball just kind of lacks at like storytelling. Like Greg's home getting demolished practically is sad and all, but like Greg makes these hard life decisions that don't really help a lot. I feel like the whole Heffley family is just in one big baboozle and they just can't fix it really, which is really sad. And yeah, so meh. It's a meh, but it's still a fun story overall. It just has some charm in it. And it's definitely better than the Getaway and Double Down, definitely. And the third wheel. Then we have Diary of an Awesome Friendly Adventure. Yep, Rowley Jefferson in Diary of an Awesome Friendly Adventure. Like, the first one was Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid. And I love how the book cover says, hey, he copied me. It's got a lot of funny jokes in it. Diary of an Awesome Friendly Adventure is the first one where Greg actually helps Rowley make a good story. And it's like a fantasy story with Roland and his buddy Garth, or Gorg even. It's a fun story. I like it, but it's kind of wimpy at times. So I'm going to put this one in fun story, but kind of wimpy. I do like this one more than the third wheel and Wrecking Ball, but it's not as enjoyable as the Long Haul, the Meltdown, definitely. It's not as epic as the Meltdown Snowball Fight. That's never going to be beaten, but I do think the first book was just better. I just think Rowley did it better, in my opinion. It just showed how Greg is not the best friend you deserve. And now we have book 15, The Deep End. Yep, this one sucks as well. This is going to go in, why did I read this one? I think Cabin Fever and The Deep End are the only two Diary of a Wimpy Kid books as of right now that I just do not give a crap about. Like, they did not need to exist. I just don't like the stories in them. And once again, The Deep End is like the Long Haul, but done wrong. Okay? The only part I enjoyed was when he was in the swimming pool and had to hide from someone. I thought that was really smart, but he already did that in the Dog Days movie where he goes underneath everyone in the water because there's so many people in there. So yeah, they kind of already copied that, so nice try, Jeff Kinney. But yeah, The Deep End sucks. I do think Cabin Fever is worse, though. So yeah, I think Deep End is at least got fun moments in it, whereas Cabin Fever is just boring overall. Deep End just feels unoriginal and everything, really. So yeah, it's just ugh. And when the flood comes in at the end and they use sharks to get that cameraman moving, I just feel like it starts to feel like it's all fake now. And wait until Greg tells the story to Rowley, I don't know. And then we have the most recent Diary of an Awesome Friendly Adventure. This is the Awesome Friendly Spooky Story. This one I actually like more than Adventure, but I don't think it's as good as the original one, Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid. This one is fun because I love Halloween. It's my favorite time of the year, so this is some nice spooky stories, and I really like the creativity behind the cover. It's really cool. So yeah, it's really cool. And the most recent book is Big Shot. Big Shot is pretty good. I think it's one of Jeff Kinney's best adaptations so far of Diary of a Wimpy Kid so far. Like, it's when he started to actually feel like he's doing more. Like, I do know for a fact Diaper Overload is going to be really good. I don't know if I'm going to love it more than Old School, but Big Shot is definitely better than everything in charm and fun story, and it's very readable. But do I think it's amazing though? I'm gonna put it in amazing and fun because it's probably the best book we've had in years, because Hard Luck, Dog Days, and the first book are actually in my readable category, and the only ones in very amazing are Roderick Rules, The Last Straw, and The Ugly Truth, which are in the first 5 books, and this is book 16, so yeah, I'm gonna put this one very amazing, but I do prefer Roderick Rules, The Last Straw, and The Ugly Truth. But yeah, Big Shot, the story of Greg trying to learn to be, athletic and all that, I think that one is really good because it actually gives more depth to Greg's character. Like, sports does not go with him at all, and then when he tries every sport, like basketball, of course, which is the main sport, of course, he focuses on, he ends up spotting the worst team ever, but then he gets a shot, and does he blow his big shot? Find out in the story itself, really, and it's a lot of fun. It's not as charming as High School Musical's basketball scenes, but it's still very enjoyable. And I love the cover when he's in the basketball hoop with a football in his finger and all the different shoes and hockey stick. It's really funny. So yeah, in the end, viewers, this is my opinion of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. What is your opinion? How would you rank them? And what is your favorite of the series? So yeah, here it is. Look at that. So I've done two tier lists today, done viewers. I'm gonna end this now. I'm gonna see you all another day, viewers, because I'm starting to get really sweaty right now, and I think it's my dinner time. So yeah, I love you all, viewers. I shall see you all in the next video. But if you enjoyed this particular video, leave a like on it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're interested. Follow Instagram, link down below. And until then, stay positive, keep calm, stay safe, be incredible. And as always, Brony on. Peace.